Hi, it's Skeincocaine, and this is the Misadventures of Skeincocaine. That sounded really weird. I'm sorry I said I was coming back in February, but honestly, I just was so busy, so much going on, I just couldn't. So here I am. As soon as I could get back, I'm back. Missed you guys. Buddy's whining outside the door. Please don't do that, buddy. Okay. I have quite a few things to show you. Not as much as I would like to show you, but I do have quite a lot. I am in Virginia, Blacksburg, Virginia, home of the Fighting Gobblers. I don't know what, the castrated chicken, I'm not really sure what that is. The Hokies, you know, everywhere else in the world, Hokies. Hokie means like cheesy, but here in Blacksburg, and probably in all of Virginia, Hokie means home of the Fighting Gobblers. It's the largest land grant school in Virginia. I'm not sure how many students go to Tech. Probably 30,000 maybe. I mean, it is all about Virginia Tech. My dad was a professor of finance and real estate finance in the Pamplin School of Business. My husband is currently a professor of architecture. I grew up with all kinds of people, you know, that their parents, they were all Tech professors. That's just what we were. My friend Becky, father, Tech professor. My friend Karen, father, Tech professor. I have dated tons of Hokie graduates. I married a Hokie graduate. Not Dave, someone else. Okay, I'm here. I just live with my 2 kids, a dog, 2 cats, a bird. Yeah, okay. It's a knitting podcast, in case you were wondering. Where to start? Okay, so I still need to fix some of the little holes under my armpits, but my Ray is done. Ray, it's very long. But there it is. It's finished, and it is made with 10 micro minis. They're called micros. And my yak sock base. So here are the minis. And the yak base. I will be having kits for this on the website, but right now my distributor is out of a ton of stuff, out of this yak for one thing. And so if you have gotten my Perfect Palette Brights, these colors are already included in the Perfect Palette Brights. So if you already have this from me, you can just go ahead, and you don't know what to do with it, you can use this for this sweater. It's made out of a sock base, the yak, so it's really light and it's very soft, and yeah, I like it. I think I'm going to wear it a lot, especially now that the weather is turning. It's getting to be more springy, and lightweight sweaters are definitely... I'm missing something. Hold on. I did this on a US 6 needle. I went a 4 for the ribbing, a twisted rib. I would say these are 3/4 length sleeves. That's what I would say. Yeah. I like it. It's fun. It would be really fun. You could do just black stripes. Like you could do cream and navy blue stripes to wear with black white jeans in the summer with little bronzy sandals would be really super cute. I just happened to use my micro minis because, I don't know, I just thought it would be more fun to knit, but it's certainly, there's so many options of things you could do. So this is my first finished object. I also have my Go Gink, and I'm trying to remember if I did short rows. I think the short rows came after. I have no idea what the front and the back is. I need to put one of those little tags. I think this is the front. Okay. So, Go Gink is done. There she is in all her glory. This color is Louboutin. And this color is Blush. This is on my non-superwash worsted. This is my hot worsted, H-O-U-T-E, however you like to say that. I did it on, all right, this is a weird one because I did do weird things with my needles on this one. So I did the ribbing on a US 4. I actually did the color work on US 8s. Isn't that crazy? US 8s. And then I went down and used a 6 for the rest of the body and then went back to 4 for the ribbing on the bottom. And what I do, my ribbing that I do, and you really won't be able to tell because it looks pretty similar on both sides, but typically the wrong side of my ribbing looks better than the right side, so I usually turn everything inside out and go the other direction. Does that make any sense at all, what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. But I like the back side of my ribbing better, so I always reverse it. Now, twisted rib, there's just a right side, and that's what you use as your right side. Oh my God, I think I need some coffee. I'm drinking grapefruit, like an instant grapefruit packet that is like, doesn't have sugar in it. It's just like the flavor of grapefruit and bottled water or spring water. Okay. So this was a nice pattern. I know I'll be wearing this. I haven't taken any finished object photos of this yet, but I will. So finished object number 2. Okay, well, you remember me showing you this cute little sweater, this little flax sweater that I did out of my hot air balloon on my Royal DK? Remember that? And I was doing this sweater. So I held it with mohair and made a Felix pullover. I'm done with that. Again, I don't have any finished objects of this, but look how long I made the ribbing. I just really wanted a really long ribbing. This whole sweater, with the exception of the ribbing at the top, the really long ribbing at the bottom, which again I turned inside out and knit it, is the ribbing is done on size US 6s, but the rest of the sweater is done on US 8s. So I'll have some finished pictures of this at some point. I still have a few. Do I have any holes in my armpits? No. No holes in the armpits on this one. But remember about this one, it has these really pretty eyelets that just disappeared because of my yarn choice. But they're there. You see them? Okay. So this is done. This is another one. I'll try to stand up so you can kind of see. I don't know how much you can see, but it's fun. I like it. I love it, actually. And it's very soft because I held it with my Surrey base. Is one of my sleeves longer than the other? No. No, they're right. Okay. That's finished object number 3. That's it. That's all I have. Now, I do have the sweater. I don't know if I showed this on the podcast, but did I show this? My Simple Stripes by Suvi Knits out of my Perfect palette. I don't know if I showed that or not, but we're still making perfect palettes in pastels. Pastels, I'm gonna do something this summer with the pastels. The brights, I keep making them, and they'd be cute, like in a litmus cowl. I don't know. Okay, and I also have kits of my pink velvet. You've seen this before as well. Pink velvet, low contrast pink velvet, but it's foxgloves and tobacco are the colors. And I love this. This is really, I love this. I know it's really hard to see, but this yarn has a ton of colors in it. I don't know, I mean like rainbow of colors in it, but it's so subtle, the speckles. So you might not, you can't see it. Shoot. Oh well. I mean, I have kits of that. Okay, well that's it for finished objects. So now I have a very, very tight window to film today because I've got the refrigerator repair guy coming back again for the 4th time. This time he's replacing some other part. I have this Viking refrigerator that I got when I remodeled my house 17 years ago. And I got this big, beautiful refrigerator, and I just cannot bear the thought of it going into a landfill. So I've just been replacing the parts to keep it going. And frankly, I don't want to spend $20,000 on a new refrigerator. Call me crazy. Okay, so let's talk about some whips I have going. Let's sort of revisit some stuff. Sort of to tell you where I am in the process. So in my stolen minutes, Carrie of Stolen Minutes, her and her mom do these beautiful bags. If you remember, I had some of this sublime that my friend Karen, Pretty Poppy, gave me at Rhinebeck. And she gave me 10 skeins. And I wanted to knit something specifically for her. So what I was waiting for, if you saw Caitlin of Caddy Jacks, she had done this beautiful purple mohair or Surrey, I can't remember what it was. And she had done this shawl pattern called the Big Fluff. And it was sort of an exclusive colorway for another dyer, and so you couldn't buy the pattern. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make Karen this really big, huge shawl, and then I'm going to give it to her. So she gave me the yarn. I'm just going to knit something up, and I'm just going to send her the shawl. But I couldn't really tell what the shawl really looked like. I mean, it just looked like a big triangle shawl, but the kind of shawl more like a boho blush, in that it was a narrower type of shawl as opposed to a traditional triangle. It was, I think, because you increase on either side on both the purl and the knit rows, and it causes it to just grow so fast that you don't have this sort of pronounced point. It's just like this sort of sloping, really pretty shawl. Well, it finally opened up for order to, you could buy this shawl pattern. And so I got it and I started knitting it, and it's really strange. The construction of it is really strange. First of all, it's so simple. I'm kind of surprised it's not a free pattern, but whatever. But it has a weird shape to it, and I don't know if it's going to look good or not. But first of all, I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to insert some video in case it's not clear what's happening here. But it's got this lump. It has a lump, but that's great because that goes on the back of your neck, right? So I think that's not a problem. Typically, when you also make increases, like make one left and make one right on the edges of shawls, I think typically you do make one left on the right side and make one right. When you get to the end of your row, you make one right, I think. If I have that right. If I don't have it right, just comment below in the comment section and just get me back on track. But I'm pretty sure. And this shawl is the opposite. So what it's making it do is it's changing the way, of course I'm in the middle of a row, but what's happening is it's causing the shawl to curl down. So it's curling like this. It's a very odd shape. Do you see how pronounced it is? Like it's curling like that? So I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not sure. And I don't think I will really know until I get it off the needles. Once I get it off the needles, maybe I'll know exactly what it's supposed to look like. But this weird top here, that is weird and doesn't look good. Unless it's just great on the back of your neck like that, which is possible. It calls for size US 15s. You hold your mohair double. I did it and it was just like this big open cobweb. So I went down to 11s. I think. Did I go down to 11s or did I go down to 13s? Let's see. No, I went down to 11s. And it's still, I mean, look. It's still really open. Which is fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's eating up yarn. I mean, I will barely have enough even with the 10 skeins. So I have a little bit left of the 2 I'm working with, and then I have 2 more skeins, and then that's it. So hopefully it's big enough. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay, my Don't Look Up sweater, I'm still chugging along. I'm in the body of it. I think I was somewhere around here when I did it before, and now I'm just doing the body. I'm kind of losing steam. I hate to tell you, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I'm using these cords, you know, these plastic cords. I just went to Lowe's. Did I go to Lowe's? Maybe I went to Michael's. Yeah, I went to Michael's and I got these plastic cords and bought like every color they had, and you know, they're like the Knitting Barber cords, but I just bought a ton of them, and I'm just, you know, cutting pieces as I need them for whatever size I need them. I don't need to spend $15 on 3 little pieces of plastic. Again, I'm not knocking it per se. It's just that's what works for me. I have big spools of it and I'm just cutting off what I need. So I'm moving along there. My pressed flower shawl. Oh, dear God. This thing. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm not talking about it. Okay, so I started the Bright Sweater by Junko Okamoto. And of course I had to do it in cream because I just had to do it in cream. So I felt, here, let me sort of explain why I started this when I already have like 75 other sweater whips going. Why not just finish the ones I have? Well, I've started to feel like everything I was doing, with the exception of the pressed flower shawl, but pretty much every other project, I was feeling like I wasn't challenging myself. Like I really needed to do something more serious. You know, when you get to be my age and older, you start thinking about ways that you can kind of get yourself out of your comfort zone, kind of ways that you can keep your brain really active and, you know, exercise your brain. And I felt that this was exactly what I needed to do. And since it was only one size, I didn't have to wonder, like, should I make this size or should I make that size? It's just one size. So I got some of my Royal DK, which is more on the sport side. It's sort of in between sport and DK, but it's a great 8-ply merino. It's so luscious. And so I cast on and I did it. I went, you know, I just took it line by line. I had never done these cluster stitches before. And I just kept going, and it's got this beautiful sleeve detail that goes all the way down the length of the sleeve. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So I had separated for the sleeves, and I'm going around, and now, I mean, I think there's a lot of short rows in this, like short rows all the way down the back. But I think I've done the hardest part, and I think I did pretty well. I think I've got it, and I think I can do it. And I find it very relaxing to learn new things and just sort of march through it line by line, sort of like chart reading. I find that really zen, to just mark off each line by line, and I can focus, almost like meditation, I would say. And you know, any of these sweaters, if they don't fit, you know, Marcella can wear them. In fact, let me tell you this funny story about Marcella that happened yesterday. And Marcella is my 12-year-old daughter, who I had when I was 43. Yes. Yes, yes, I am like her grandmother. So she goes into her art class, and her art teacher knits. And I've given her yarn to give to her art teacher before. And somehow they started talking about Instagram or something. And her teacher was like, tell me who your mother is if she has an Instagram account, and I'll follow her. And Marcella said, well, she's Skeincocaine on Instagram. And her eyes just like bugged out of her head. She's like, I've been following Skeincocaine for years. Your mother is Skeincocaine. You've got to be kidding me. I just thought, you know, that was kind of funny. Is that funny? I don't know if that's funny or not. It seemed funny. I thought it was funny. She thought it was funny. Hopefully that means that my daughter will get an A in the class. That's what she did. She is getting an A in the class. Okay, so more whips. I went to my local yarn shop to pick up some sort of cards that I could insert in some of my packages to write notes to people that, well, you know, thank you notes if they've sent me stuff or whatever. I just want to get in the habit of writing thank you notes, and I wanted some that were more related to knitting and art. So I went to my local yarn shop down the street, it's literally 5 minutes from me, to see if I could find some cards, which I did, but I also picked up some yarn. And one of the things I picked up was this yarn. And I buy yarn even though I have a dye house because it's market research. I have to know what's out there. I like to know what bases there are out there. I like to knit with other yarns. I like to see how they work, you know. So what I found was this unique sock. And it comes in this box, okay? And you can see what it's supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to do. My hands are shaking. I'm sorry. I'm really hungry right now. That's what it's supposed to do. So this is how I like to knit my socks. I like to knit my socks simultaneously. I have 2 sets of 9 or 12, still don't know which it is, and I have started with the ribbing, and I want to get, and these are US 0s or 1s, I can't remember. Yeah. Here's the skein. I want to get to that foot. I'm up there at the blue and I want to get to the toe. If I did the smart thing for me to have done is to start at the toe and go up, and that's how I'll make sure that I'll be able to use all of this yarn. But because I don't like doing that, I mean, I can do it. I don't know, I like just casting on the ribbing. And so I just cast on, but now I don't know how long to make the foot, the leg, so that I don't finish too soon. But if I follow this chart, see, I'm just hoping that this picture, I'm gonna just hopefully like the third stripe, the third blue stripe with the brown, that's when I'm going to do my heel. I'm going to try to do this identically. And if I run short, well, I run short. But I don't want to waste the yarn. I want to use it all up because it's a fade. So I'm doing that. Now, I can tell you right now, the yarn is splitty. Now, some people might not have a problem with it. I mean, they're very soft. It's very nice yarn. I'm splitting the yarn as I'm knitting it. It could be me, it could be my needles, but that's what I'm doing. That's what's happening. So also, while I was at that yarn shop, I bought something that caught my eye, and it's this Malabrigo. And this is the tag. It's called Metamorphosis. And it's the superwash. And this is the cake. This is how much of the cake I've used. Now it looked like a fade. It looked like it's a fade, right? Okay, hear me out before you say, what are you doing, Gina? Hear me out. I wanted just a really simple top-down raglan, and I thought to myself, how fun would it be to start with the lightest color in the middle and knit, and then it will eventually end up the black, and then I'll continue on with a skein of black fingering that I have. Okay? This is a limited edition. The colorway is called Midnight Bloom. This is what I thought that I wanted to do. So I went on to Ravelry and I found the DRK Every Day by Andrea Mowry. And sure, there were... It just seemed like... It seemed the simplest. It has like 4 increased rows. Split for sleeves. Do the body. Pick up your stitches. Do the sleeves. I mean, it is just about as simple as it gets. no, you know, so I thought, oh, I could do a summer, kind of like the Willa tee. I love that kind of like where big needles, thin yarn, summer sweater, just stop knitting, you know, just do maybe a little bit of ribbing, and there you've got this really nice lightweight sweater that you can throw over your sundresses, you know, just to have a little something over your arms when you're inside in the air conditioning and all of that. So I like those. I want to make more of those, and they take virtually no time at all to knit, and I'm all about that, of course. I have all kinds of projects, you know that. So I'm thinking, okay, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna do this top-down DRK, and I'm gonna have it fade into the black, right? And then I'm gonna do it on big needles. So it's gonna be open and airy. Well, I looked, the pattern calls for, I think, 5 and 6 US. So I didn't probably want to do that big a needle. I did 4 and 5 instead. So I cast on the inside where it looked like it was the lightest. Okay, here it is. You ready to see it? Here it is. And it's on a really small needle, so it's not fading. Not really. I mean, maybe a little. I would say, I was thinking it was looking more like animal print, kind of. There is something happening between here and here. There is a slight darkening, but not. And there's lavender in there, there's black, there's cream. But to me, it looks like it's going to be this entire speckly, and then it's going to be black. So stay tuned. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know. I hope. I don't love the way it looks. It's not what I had in mind. But the yarn is nice. It's sock. There's no nylon in this. I'm sorry. I just don't think 100% superwash merino is good for socks. You spend the time to knit the socks, and then the heels are going to blow out so fast. I mean, I would put a mohair in this, or I would do something with nylon, or do, you know, a rustic, which leads me to my next thing I want to show you. And then I'm done. I have nothing else to show you. We dyed up some specials. You know, I said I was never going to dye up specials again. I told you we do it every so often. I got some of this Highland wool in because I kind of was just in the mood. Because, you know, so many podcasters are all like so pro rustic yarns. You know, they're just all singing its praises. And I'm really more of a superwash girl. One reason is that everything ends up in the wash machine, whether I want it to or not. Which just gave me a memory of my first husband. I've had 3. My first husband, he was mad at me about something. He was mad at me. The minute we got married, he was mad at me about everything and pissed off at me all the time. And one of the things that he did was to get back at me, it was a very passive-aggressive move. He washed some of my hand-knit sweaters, a shoe, a belt, a blazer. I had like this beautiful like Tahari blazer. He washed it and dried it in the dryer. Got me, for sure. Okay, getting back to it. So I got some Highland wool from my distributor, and we dyed up, but I only got like 50-gram skein. So this is a 50-gram skein, and we dyed them up in the special. And And there they are. There it is. And we have some of these on the website. I even dyed up some minis, Highland minis, for heels, toes, and cuffs. But, I mean, you don't have to use this for socks, but why not? Why not? Anyway, toothy. But I think I might make my husband, well, I don't know about this colorway. Okay. This is on the website. Okay. Now what? Now I'm going to knit and I'm going to talk to you about what I'm watching. What am I watching? I'm going with Becky this summer to New York. I'm meeting Becky. I mean, she lives there, whatever. But Daniel Craig, who is James Bond, you know, he's the newest James Bond. He is Macbeth, the lead in Macbeth on Broadway. And so we are going to go see him. And so I've been sort of binging his movies. So last night we watched Spectra. And tonight we're watching Casino Royale. But we're caught up with Severance. There's one more episode of Severance, and I guess that's episode 9. Episode 8 ended on a cliffhanger, and I was screaming at the TV. Screaming! And I can't wait. And some things better get cleared up for me in Severance, because I'm going crazy, like not knowing what's going on. I'm going crazy. Again, I guess I can't say anything. I mentioned in my last podcast about Meryl Streep being eaten by an alien, and I got a nasty comment. You know, thanks for spoiling it for me. I'm just like, if something has been out, you know, it's like saying if something is like Sophie's Choice and you're getting mad because I'm mentioning Sophie's Choice, but Sophie's Choice has been out for years, like 30 years or something. So, or the Titanic, okay? And don't look up, it's been out, okay? Am I never supposed to ever talk about anything that's been out? I mean, it's one thing if it's a current show and I mention something. That's why I don't really want to say anything about Severance, because I don't want, you know, the mafia to come after me on that one. So, but oh my God. I can't say anything. Bad Vegan. You had an assignment. And the assignment was to watch Bad Vegan. It's 4 episodes. You can do it. So I'm going to say stuff and it's going to spoil things, but I warned you. Now, if you don't want me to talk about Bad Vegan, you haven't seen it, you don't care, I'm putting a timestamp here. This is how, you know, how long I'm going to be talking about it. So you can avoid me talking about Bad Vegan. But we've been getting into this genre of these people that somehow bamboozle people out of large sums of money. And I just can't figure that out, how people can do that. Bad Vegan, she's got, I mean, yeah, she's pretty. And pretty girls, pretty women. It's like rich men that have the, you know, the world in the palm of their hands. And she was able to get people to invest in her. Now, she went to the Wharton School of Business and she went to culinary art school, but she convinced some people to, you know, invest millions of dollars in her business. And she opened up a raw vegan restaurant in New York City. And it was at one point the most popular vegan restaurant in the world. Who's who? Like, yeah. So Alec Baldwin asks her out. She turns him down. Okay, so already I knew this person's nuts. You don't turn down Alec Baldwin. You just don't. And Alec, if you're watching this, call me. I mean, I know you're happily married. So he met his wife at not the Bad Vegan, whatever it was called. What was it even called? I can't even remember now. But that's where he ended up meeting his wife. So anyway, Sarma, is that her name? Sarma? I can't remember. Anyway, so she meets this guy and he promises her that if she gives him like millions of dollars, that she'll make her dog live forever, have immortality. So right there, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm thinking, you're a stupid idiot. But by the end of the season or the show, because I don't think there are any more, she's talking to him again and being real friendly. So it made me wonder, maybe she wasn't that innocent after all. Like she knew what she was doing. I mean, she gave him all this money and then he sent her to Rome and she was in Rome for 10 days and then he got her a ticket to fly first class home. And I'm thinking to myself, who do you think paid the first class ticket home from Rome? I mean, how much are those tickets? $8,000? Who do you think paid for that? You're giving him the money. Obviously, he's paying. So I don't know if she was in on it or not. Is she innocent? Is she not innocent? I would love to know your perspective. If you've seen it, please comment below and tell me what you think about that. Is she innocent? Why did she do it? Is she stupid? Does she have brain damage? What? I just don't understand. But then we started watching Reinventing Anna. Now, I'm only a couple episodes in, but it's still like this, it's a woman that is attractive, but she's able to sort of manipulate the people around her to give her tons of money. And I find that fascinating, and I think a lot of people do. We were watching Reinventing Anna. We started watching Tinder Swindler, which is the same kind of idea. It's fascinating to people, clearly fascinating. So that's what I'm watching. Tonight we watched Casino Royale. Yeah, that's it. I was planning on going to Maryland Sheep and Wool, but that would have been so fun. But unfortunately, some things have started to develop. Like my son has to take his SATs that weekend. My daughter has a band concert that weekend, and it's Mother's Day. So I will be missing Maryland Sheep and Wool. So everyone that's going, enjoy, have fun, buy tons of yarn. We can never have too much yarn, because if we ever get locked down again, we have to have a local yarn shop in our houses, right? And this, I just don't know about this. Let's see if there's anything else that I need to tell you. Let's see. Summer plans, beach trip, New York trip. We're also going to see some kind of, Becky and I are going to see some sort of, I don't know what you call it. His name's Tyler. And he's doing shows all over the country, and he's sort of like, he speaks to your dead relatives or something. I don't know. We're going to that too in August. I think that would be fun. And I know it's not real, but it would be, if it would make me feel better, like if my dad said something, or my dead friend Tracy. I had this friend that he was my very, very best friend in the whole world. His name was Tracy, and he died at 33 of lung cancer. And I think about him all the time. And I think about the fact that I've lived December 1st, this past December 1st, it was the 20-year anniversary of his death, and I can't believe that he's been dead for 20 years. I can't believe that I have had 20 more years of experiences. I mean, like, if he was around, like if he just showed up, I have a teenage son, just about soon to have a tween daughter. I don't know, I just can't believe that the luck, the bad luck that he had, and the good luck that I've had so far to be here. But I would love like something, some sort of something that makes me feel like neither one of them is gone forever. You know, like if that guy Tyler says something like Tracy used to call me Boner. I have no idea. He was gay, so it's not, but it was like, that was my nickname. Like my mother calls me Peeper. That's my nickname from her. And he used to call me Boner. And I would just, to me, like if my friend said something, I mean, if this guy that we go see says, he's saying, he's calling you, and I am apologizing if this is offensive, but Boner, then it would be like all I would need to get through the rest of my life to just feel like he wasn't completely gone forever, or that my dad is gone forever. Because, you know, it's really hard. It's really, really hard to think that someone is just completely gone, that they don't exist anymore. It's just really, really hard to believe it. And so it's nice when, even if you're being lulled to believe something that isn't true, it still would make you feel better. And so you can spend the rest of your life feeling better. Why not? Right? All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got to show you. So comment below. Tell me how you're doing, what you're knitting. Check in with me. And I'm not even going to make any promises about... I do know that I could have podcast a couple days ago, but I really wanted to get some headway on this so that I could show this to you. And it just doesn't look any different. It's just, I don't care for it so far. So we'll see. But I wanted you to see it. So I kept knitting day after day. And then finally I'm just like, I can't put it off any longer. I have to podcast. So here I am. And I'm so grateful that you're watching. I'm grateful if you subscribe and ring the bell, and let's be friends. Okay? So when we see each other in real life, it's like we get to see our besties. And that's fun. I love that. I've got a lot of fun things planned. I've got 2 knit-alongs planned, which I have not done a knit-along through the YouTubes, the interwebs before. But I have 2 different ones that we're going to do together. We have our own exclusive hashtag. It's going to be really fun, but I'm going to tell you about that sooner when we get closer to summer. Then we'll talk about that. And I'll give you all the deets. There are going to be prizes and just camaraderie and fun and all kinds of stuff. Maybe a picture on the hill during Rhinebeck and all that. So, okay? All right now. See ya. Take care. Bye.